Alright guys, so this video is going to be starting to get into this pre-bug right here, which I just bought at Vintage Motorcycle Days. My plan is to have this all done and ready for the next Vintage Motorcycle Days, because that's pretty much what I bought this pre-bug for. I'm making this into a Baja off-road pre-bug. So I've started accumulating some parts for this bike before I even had it. This is like the last year of just random stuff that I've been wanting to put on this. First priority on this bike is getting the front brakes sorted out, because right now it has no front brakes. Kind of looks like it just has no fluid in it, maybe, or the gasket, or either the gasket for the sight glass or the one of the banjo bolts came loose or something. But if there is something wrong with it, I do have a complete working another set of disc brakes here with the caliper and lever and all that, so that can get swapped in. Handlebars are very bent, so that's with the wheels straight, and you can see this is what the handlebars look like. This is with the handlebars straight, that's where the wheel's pointing. So that's priority number 2, is figuring out if it's just the bars that are bent or if the stem's messed up, because if the stem's messed up, that's going to be a whole thing trying to find one of those. Not impossible, but I would just rather have the bars fucked up because I'm replacing those anyways. So that's got to get sorted out. Trying to think what other issues this has. Basically, none of the plastics have any hardware in them other than these 2 bolts right here. They're all missing in there and inside where they all screw together with the clip nut things. Those are all gone too. So gotta get the hardware in for all those. I definitely have to put the stock air filter back in, because they put this goofy velocity stack thing on here and it just gets covered with mud and it fills it up and bogs it down and shit. So stock air filter is going back into that until we build the motor. Looks like somebody either painted or spilled some something on here. I noticed the CVT cover's chipped in a few spots and stuff too, but whatever. So this build I'm not going to be as particular on and making everything look super nice as I was with this one, because this is, like I said, just going to be an off-road kind of beater build. I don't have a title for this, so it's not going on the road. So it is strictly going to be used off-road. So it's going to get muddy, it's going to get dropped, it's going to get dinged up. So I'm not too worried about everything looking absolutely perfect, but I do want to make it look pretty cool. So I do have big plans for this thing, for as little as I'm going to use it. So yeah, I'm gonna start getting into the handlebar situation, and then I can kind of assess the brakes from there and everything, and look at the stem and see how that's all doing. The gauge cluster, nothing on the gauge cluster works too. I looked at it; it's all plugged in. The cable from the hub is running up and everything, but just nothing works. So the mileage is not correct, I would assume. Speedo doesn't work. I think the fuel gauge, the sending unit, does work, but the turn signal, and I don't think the high beam or any of those worked either, so I'll have to look at that. Could just be parts of the harness are messed up or pinched or ripped out or something like that, but I'll start getting into that and let you know what I find. Alright, so I got that all apart, got the bars off. It does look like the piston is stuck in the front brake, so I am just gonna have to swap all that out. I'm not even gonna bother messing with it. I got a perfectly fine working one, I just gotta fill it up with fluid, so we'll swap that in. Hopefully that'll be fine. And then the situation with the bars, it looks like the stem is slightly bent this way, but not as bad as it was looking when it was on the bike. So I think a majority of the bend was actually from the bars themselves. You can see, it's hard to see it with not on the bike, but the right side of the bars is swooping down a lot, and it looks like it was pretty crooked. You can see there where the center point is, and how everything's kind of sweeping. The right side sweeps back a lot. So I think that was just the issue. It definitely looks like somebody wiped out on this and fell on the right side because the plastics were scraped here. That front brake was messed up and bent, and then there was a crack on the gauge clutcher on that side too. So somebody definitely went down and bent the bars. But so far it's looking like we have pretty good bones. You know, typical pre-bug stuff. So I'm gonna keep tearing into it. Probably gonna take the seat off and take the back plastics off and the rack and all that and kind of strip it down a little more. Well, I took the back plastics off and the seat and stuff and gave her a bath. She's looking pretty good. I didn't go too crazy, but everything looks pretty clean. The other thing, which I noticed when I bought it, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal, was this foot peg on this side is bent way down, and you can see how that metal it's attached to is like bent out. And then also, which I didn't even realize this until after, but this piece is all messed up too. You can see it's not flat on there, whereas this side is completely flat. So this I'm just gonna have to hammer down and bend back a little bit, hammer this up, and then it should be okay. But that's definitely looks like that happened when they wiped it out and fell on that side. So not too bad. It'll be fixable. Well, I got the new one on, and as you can see, the piston here actually comes all the way back out. So the piston's free. I don't think I have any brake fluid right now, so I can't put any fluid in there and test it. And I'm probably just gonna wait till I have the new bars on it, just so I can mount it up and it'll be easier to bleed like that too. So yeah, we'll say that's sorted out for now. I have to see for sure once I get the brake fluid, but I'm pretty sure that was the problem. Oh no, I just poured oil all over my Polini sticker. That sucks. All right, so air filter's on. Let's tackle the taillight now. So this is the old one I used to have on my 89. It looks like I already made jumpers for it. So that's easy enough. We'll just plug that right in. All right, I got some M6 10mm nuts, so let's see if these fit. Bingo. Easy enough. There's 3. No tail light. Not working. I do have a bunch of other stuff plugged in right now though. Or unplugged, I should say. Would have thought it would come on though. So I got the key on and the taillight still doesn't want to come on. I do have a bunch of stuff unplugged, so that's probably why. But I'm just gonna do a quick little check here to see if I'm getting anything. Because the running light should at least be on. Okay, so I am getting I am getting 12 volts, so it looks like we have a bad bulb. Which luckily I have more of those too. So I did drop this when I was bringing it up from upstairs, so that's probably what did it. So let's open this up and swap the bulb out real quick. Okay, interesting. I guess the socket's bad. I just had a loose connection, so the filament itself actually didn't go out. So I'll leave that in there for now. I'm not riding this on the road, so I'm not really too concerned about the brake light not working or working intermittently. So I'm gonna say it's fine for now. If I notice it still having issues, then I might need to swap the socket inside the tail light. But okay, no, we're good. I'm gonna put in one of the adjustable relays I sell. These fit in these 4-pin relays, but you have to move some wires around. So I'm gonna do that real quick. All right, wires are swapped for the turn signal relay. Let's get some controls on here and see if we can get this to work. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that it's not going to work correctly because we don't have the front ones on. Oh, all right. Well, there we go. Now we don't need to run front turn signals. It looks like it works great, and the time is actually set up pretty good on there. So you can adjust how fast and slow they blink. Looks like it works pretty good. Sometimes the issues you run in with these two, once the bike is running, they'll tend to blink a little faster sometimes. So let's see if that's the case. seems like it works good to me. Can't ask for a better run than that. Yeah, so those turn signal relays, by the way, are for sale on my website if you guys want those. The stock relays absolutely suck. I have never gotten a bike that has had the stock relays working. And it's the 89s you can find replacements for because they're 2 pins, but the 90 and after, I believe, are 4 pins, or might be 91 and after. But there's not a lot of years that have the 2 pins. Most of them are 4 pins after that, and the 4 pins suck. Yeah, so the only thing with the adjustable turn signal relays that does suck is when you do the conversion from 4 pin to 2 pin, you lose the ability for the indicator light on the dash, which if you're running naked handlebars, it doesn't really matter because most people don't worry about that anyways. But for some people that you might want that. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that you will lose your indicator light on your dash for your turn signals. All right, so while I didn't have the camera on, as you can see, we got some new shoes. Looking pretty good. I was gonna bring these to go get them mounted instead of just changing them myself, because the 89 has really, anybody that's ever tried to change these with tire levers, you know that the steel that those are made out of is very thin and very soft, so it just folds the lip of the rim right over. You can see, I gotta fix this, but even on the machine, it's still like destroys the rim. So I always take these to get them mounted just because I don't want to ruin these rims. But the Zuma 2s actually have aluminum rims and they're a lot beefier. They're closer to what's on the Bug Eyes. So I took these off and I was like, you know what, instead of spending 60 bucks to go get them mounted, I'm like, let me just see if I can take these off without messing up the rim. And sure enough, it came off perfect, super easy. So that wasn't hard at all. It actually looks like somebody actually swapped the front and the rear with the tires that were on there. They had the 120s on the back and the 130s on the front. Obviously supposed to be the other way around, fatter tire in the back. But put the knobbies on. These things are pretty aggressive. These are probably the most aggressive knobbies that I've seen on the pre-bugs. I think this looks pretty sweet. So those are on there. Sorry for not filming it. It was kind of a last second thing and I didn't have the camera out. But yeah, those are on. So I think to wrap up this video, I still don't have brake fluid for this, so I gotta get that. But to wrap up this video, I think we're just gonna throw the kicker on and call it a day. And then the next video, I'll either be doing the fuel injection delete or the naked bars. I think we'll do the naked bars because most of the parts to put that together came in. So I think we'll do that, get that all set up, and then I can kind of button up the front end. So yeah, let's throw the kicker on and see how that turns out. So yeah, after looking at the CVT cover a little bit more, it definitely looks like somebody spray painted it. So at some point that's gonna come off and either get spray painted or powder coated. I would like to get my stuff powder coated, but I don't really have a guy for that. So if anybody knows somebody that does powder coating up closer to Buffalo, New York. Oh man, that thing's on there. That's all paint that came off of the shaft. Wow. So this thing will definitely have to get taken off at some point, and I'll probably bead blast it and take it to either get powder coated or just spray paint it again. Obviously do a way better job. It looks like they literally kept this on the bike, just master on the CVT cover and just painted it all. There's spray paint all over the shaft here, all over the circlip. I mean, this thing's just globbed up with paint. So that'll definitely need to get addressed at some point, but we're not going to worry about it right now. All right, got the straight kicker. Can't forget my sticker. I'll probably get thrown on there. So this has a Allen. Let's see what size this is. Oh, and there's actually a lock washer in there too, which is good. So I saw this kicker and I really liked it because it's got a nice big wide tongue on it for your foot. Because that's one thing that I don't like about the one that I have on my prebug is it's super small. It's one of the stage 6 ones, and I actually used what was it, drain cleaner, I think, to take the orange anodization off of it. So that's a tip. If you're trying to take any anodized parts, take the finish off, you can use drain cleaner. But I did that because I wanted it to all be monochrome and stuff. But that one, it only sticks out literally like probably an inch. So when you're kicking that thing pretty much in anything but boots, like if you have softer sneakers on or slides or flip-flops or whatever, it's a pain in the ass. And this thing, I'm deleting the electric start, so I wanted a really comfortable kicker for it, which looks like this thing's gonna be perfect for what I want. So let's see what size this Allen is. Pretty tight. All right, new kicker is on. Let's give it a test try. There's no choke on here right now. So let's see if this thing fires up. I haven't fired this up in probably like a week. One kick. This thing runs pretty good for not really touching it. I mean, I haven't really done anything motor-wise, and it's runs perfect. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for the part 1 of the Baja build. Stay tuned, because next time we are going to be doing the naked bar install. So I'll show you guys how to do naked bars on a prebug. And then part 3 is most likely going to be the oil injection delete. So that'll cover deleting the oil tank and converting that to a cubby, and then putting a plug where the oil injection pump goes. So yeah, if you guys are interested in the Baja build, stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.